Imagine walking through the dense, chaotic streets of medieval Baghdad. Right in the middle of a bustling market, a crowd has gathered. In the center, a respectable-looking man is viciously and relentlessly whipping his horse. The onlookers are horrified. One of those onlookers happens to be the caliph, the ruler of the city, traveling in disguise. He steps forward, halts the abuse, and gives the man a grim ultimatum: explain your horrific cruelty right now or face execution. The man, named Sidi-Nouman, begins his defense. He takes us back to a time when he was a moderately wealthy citizen, embarking on a promising arranged marriage to a beautiful woman named Amina. But on their very first day as a married couple, the household routine breaks down. At dinner, a lavish spread of rice and meats is placed on the table, and Amina flatly refuses to eat any of it. Instead, she pulls a metal case from her pocket, extracts a thin pin, and begins eating her meal exactly one single grain at a time. Sidi-Nouman tries to joke with her, asking if she has a bird's appetite. She responds with total silence. Over the next few days, this unnerving ritual repeats. His home fills with a creeping dread as a terrifying question takes root. How is this woman actually surviving if she isn't eating food? Desperate for answers, Sidi-Nouman fakes falling asleep one night. As soon as his breathing slows, Amina silently dresses and slips out the front door into the moonlit streets, with her husband trailing close behind. Her journey leads them out of the residential quarters toward the city outskirts, ending at the high walls of an isolated walled cemetery. To understand what happens next, you have to know local folklore. A ghoul is a specific type of demonic entity, a creature that lurks in ruined buildings and graveyards, surviving by digging up fresh graves and feeding on human corpses. Hiding in the shadows, Sidi-Nouman watches his nightmare unfold. His beautiful bride walks up to a female ghoul, sits down by a freshly disturbed grave, and happily joins the demon in tearing into the flesh of a buried corpse. He creeps back home in silent terror. The woman he married is a literal monster wearing a human face, and he is now trapped in the same house, sleeping right next to her. The next day at dinner, the tension snaps. When Amina again pulls out her pin to eat a single grain of rice, Sidi-Nouman casually asks if a corpse's flesh tastes sweeter than the food on their table. Amina's face turns purple. She flies into a demonic rage, realizing her secret is exposed. Before Sidi-Nouman can run, she grabs a nearby cup of water, mutters a dark incantation, and violently splashes it into his face. In an instant, his hands become paws and his body shrinks toward the floor. Amina has cursed him, stripping him of his humanity and turning him into a dog. He narrowly escapes her attempts to crush him in the courtyard gate and flees out into a hostile city. Sidi-Nouman is now a vulnerable stray in a city where most view dogs as unclean pests. After days of dodging beatings and starvation, he secures a safe corner inside a busy bakery. The baker treats him kindly. A few weeks into this new life, a customer tries to buy bread and drops several coins on the counter, one of which is a clever counterfeit. The baker challenges the woman and jokingly asks his new dog to inspect the money. Sidi-Nouman sees his opening. He jumps onto the counter, inspects the coins, and places his paw firmly on the fake one. The stunt makes him a local phenomenon. Crowds flock to the bakery to test the canine detective. Eventually, this unnatural intelligence catches the eye of an older woman who realizes no ordinary dog could do this. She recognizes the clear signature of dark magic. She coaxes him to follow her home. Having preserved his intellect despite his physical transformation, he has successfully demonstrated a humanity that magic could not erase. This recognition is exactly what prompts the woman to offer him a cure. The woman introduces him to her daughter, a benevolent magician whose skills rival Amina's. With a sprinkle of enchanted water and a counter curse, the dog vanishes, and Sidi-Nouman stands up as a man once again. He wants his life back, and he wants vengeance. The young magician hands him a vial of her own magic water and instructs him to go straight home to ambush Amina. He slips through his front door. When Amina walks in, he blocks her path, raises the vial, and hurls the liquid directly into her face before she can react. Amina disappears. In her place stands the horse. The animal Sidi-Nouman was beating in the public square is his monstrous wife, now forced into a life of servitude and labor. We snap back to the present day in the caliph's court. Sidi-Nouman finishes his defense, looking at the ruler, hoping this harrowing tale of survival justifies his violent public display. The caliph listens carefully. He validates Sidi-Nouman's trauma, agreeing that Amina committed unspeakable evils, and that transforming her into a beast of burden was an entirely justified punishment. But the caliph doesn't let Sidi-Nouman off the hook. He delivers a firm, final verdict. The punishment is complete. Sidi-Nouman must immediately and permanently stop beating the horse. Stopping a monster protects the innocent and is an act of justice. But if you spend every day endlessly torturing a defeated enemy, you allow their darkness to infect you, turning you into the very monster you sought to destroy.